Most casual media consumers, upon learning about J.R.R. Tolkien's mythical dwarves, simply thought to themselves, hey, nice to see there's finally some representation for the vertically challenged, but there were a few that thought to themselves, OMG, that is so me. And a few of those people grew up to become game developers, and now we have ourselves Deep Rock Galactic. Howdy there, I'm definitely not a hedgehog, but you can just call me Hog for short, because I know just how busy you are. You've got so much to do, you're such an important person. Spare me a moment to explain why you should watch this video. Many gaming journalists, companies, or individuals like to dish out arbitrary numbers when reviewing a video game, and they expect you to use it in some kind of mental calculation as to whether that game is worth your time or not. I understand, however, that there's a high likelihood that the individual watching this video is neither a computer nor a Twitch streamer with crippling insecurity, so numbers most likely mean nothing to you. That is why I have come up with a certification process called Play or Pass. Play is for any video game that is astoundingly fun and creative. So if you're a gaming individual that likes fun and creative things, or even if you are someone who has never played a single video game in your life, you need to find a way to try this out. And Pass is for absolute train wrecks that can barely be called games at all, or whether they simply don't work, or worse than that, are just incredibly boring. No time should be wasted in attempting to play them. Not every single video game deserves either certification. Most games are neither astoundingly great or horrifically bad, they're just somewhere in the middle. This game, however, will be getting a Player Pass certification, so stick around to the end to find out which. Deep Rock Galactic. I do not understand how a game can have a name so simple yet be so hard to remember. Whenever I'm trying to talk about this, I always get it wrong. I have a mental brain fart and my mind just immediately defaults to deep dish pizza. But you know, I think it's what the dwarves would have wanted anyways. In Deep Dark Galactica, you play as one of 4 dwarven miners. The underground kind of miner, not the underage kind of miner. And you go on spelunking expeditions in procedurally generated subterranean environments to search for and gather resources to appease your corporate overlords, all while avoiding dangerous workplace hazards such as killer flora, hungry alien fauna, freaking gravity of all things, and not to mention the ever-encroaching claustrophobia brought on by the unfathomable never-ending darkness. Oh my god, I'm so friggin' lost. You don't have to go at it alone, however. This game was designed with 4-player co-op in mind, made evident by the 4 apartment complexes that each get labeled with the players' names whenever they enter the lobby, which I think is just straight up adorable, as well as the player icon at the top left corner of the screen that shows you next to 3 empty spaces to rub it in that you have no friends. Or maybe you're like me and got the newest Xbox, but your friend got the newest PlayStation, so now you can't play many games together that don't start with the letter F and end with Fortnite. Freaking Sony slut, I hate you. I'm kidding, man. I didn't mean that. But should you be the forever alone type, Deep Dance Revolution has you covered.
Orders from management. Stop dancing and get to it.
Let me introduce you to Bosco. He is a robot drone companion that accompanies you on solo missions to assist with simple tasks such as lighting up the place, cleaning up the place, and firing missiles at your adversaries. What more could you want from a companion? How about reviving you when you lose all your health? Oh my god, why don't other games have AI companions as good as this guy? They put so much care and thought into Bosco that they even allow you to customize and upgrade him. And speaking of customizing and upgrading, the options available for you and your equipment is substantial, using a system that is simple enough to understand quickly but robust enough to keep you invested for a long time. Do you want your flamethrower to do more flame throwing? You got it. Do you want your armor plating to have more pockets? You got it. You feel like your dwarf needs more facial hair? Well, with the press of a button, you got it, my friend. How come no one told me this game had customizable beards? 10 out of 10. No way, and I said at the beginning of the video I wasn't using a number system. Dang it, I already messed up. So once you pick out your favorite mustache and just how much verfing your Flammenwerfer needs to do, you're almost ready to start your next mission. You just need to grab a drink at the bar. I don't know if these alcoholic beverages have any practical benefit towards the success of your adventure, but I do know this robot bartender's adorable animations have an emotional benefit towards my mental health. Don't forget to always tip your bartender, kids. Otherwise, they will start spitting in your drinks.
Got it right this time.
Hello,
To the
Yeah.
my old friend.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
That's great. Just throw it at him. The missions you go on for Deep Darkest Dungeons range in complexity from as simple as collecting X number of whatever to constructing entire underground plumbing networks. Oh my goodness, avoiding being a plumber is why I left the army, dang it. Actually, it was more of a leave before you're asked to leave situation, but don't tell my mom that. She's still super proud of me. Now, as I said earlier, the environments you conduct these missions in are procedurally generated, which means theoretically, no two will look the same, even on repeats. It also means that the game can be incredibly small. How can there be this much game for only 3 gigabytes? Holy moly, I have games on my phone bigger than this. Now, wandering through cave networks that are created randomly may not sound that fun for individuals that lack a certain sense of direction, also known as idiots that get lost easily. Well, there are 2 main things to assist with your navigation, one of which being a very handy GPS that depicts your current location as well as the direction you're facing in a consistently updating 3D environment. The second thing being that you are a space dwarf with the capacity to dig. All 4 dwarves come standard with a pickaxe, and you can just swing that sucker to the end of time and dig a hole in any direction you want. I have a pickaxe. We play Minecraft, boys. Apparently if you hit the ground, it'll make bullet ricochet noises. This is some impressive technology going to the fundamentals of this pickaxe. If you are standing at point A and you see a point B on your GPS and you don't want to find a way to get there, you can just make a way to get there. That is why the driller is my favorite class so far, because he's got these massive industrial digging machines that he just keeps in his back pockets apparently, that allow him to mow through enemies and rock more easily than I mow through Easter Peep marshmallow candies. I will not apologize for loving these things. Look, I've spent a lot of time in a lot of caves in a lot of video games, and I gotta say it is just liberating to be able to screw off in any direction I want at a moment's notice. And you know, I really can't think of other games with procedurally generated environments that offer this much creative freedom. It's kind of strange. Deep Rock Galactic in summary. There, I finally said it right. It's a game where someone took the idea of let's make a game about dwarves but in space and then executed that idea beautifully. If you break the game down into some basic themes, such as first-person shooter, procedurally generated environments, or procedurally generated destructible environments, and timeless art design, which nowadays is not that easy to do, honestly. These things in of themselves are not necessarily new. They've been done before. But when you take these things and put them together in such a fabulous way, you get something truly wonderful. All that being said, my favorite thing about this game is something that is hard to quantify. It's not as simple as eating, for example, and saying something needs more salt. It's hard to get a metric for this with other games, but for this one, the thing I'm talking about is very apparent and abundant, and that is character. This game has loads of character, and there are examples of it everywhere. The description of Bosco saying that the company would prefer its employees not name the robots because it creates unnecessary emotional bonds. I mean, gamers have been giving pet names to things forever. That the developers threw in a barrel-kicking minigame in the lobby because they knew players would screw around while waiting for their friends to get back from the bathroom and would appreciate having something to do. Even the fact that when you complete a gathering mission and your little minecart on legs loads up onto the spaceship, if you don't get there in time, that spaceship is going to leave you because you are an employee of a company that cares more about its resources than it does its own people, which is very representative of the real world. Just these ideas show how much thought the developers put into making this game have character, and when something is done with this much passion, you can just feel it. Deep Rock Galactic is my very first game on my Player Pass series, and for the reasons I've discussed and many more, it gets a play. Should you find yourself with nothing else better to do, even if you don't consider yourself a gamer, I still think this game is something you need to try. Now, is this the greatest video game ever? I certainly hope not, because I want to see this field constantly improve and get better and better. Now, is it the best video game that's less than 3 gigabytes large? Actually, maybe. I still don't know how they did that. What I do know is I'm definitely not a hedgehog. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please subscribe, like the video, comment below if you want to have a further discussion, and until the next one, this is not goodbye for good, just goodbye for now.
Faster, flee!